Hey guys, I'm Blind and this is the Zero Spoilers How to Be Prepared for the Vault of Glass guide. It will be split into 3 sections: in-game prep with loadout ideas, beyond game prep, and extra things to consider. Let's get to it. In-game prep. First, prep your arsenal. Now, no spoilers, but have a short to medium range special weapon and a long range weapon on top of your usual primary. Snipers will be the ideal, but a go-to scout or pulse could work fine too. To make sure you're not caught out, here's a list. There will be some arc enemies and some void enemies, and nothing's been confirmed, but all the most recent raids have had barrier champions. So, try to make sure you bring something for overload champions and anti-barrier champions too. You'll need an aggressive short range weapon, and you'll need a strong long range weapon too. And always pair this with a good workhorse gun. You'll need a decent super and or exotic weapon for your boss damage too. This list will cover you on a personal basis, but before we go through some example loadouts, let's also add one group damage buff, that would be either a bubble or a well, and add one debuff that the whole group can apply. That would be tractor cannon, divinity, or even a flawless execution if you're feeling fruity. Now these two, the buff and debuff, work together, but you can only have one of each. Any armor mods you personally use stack on top of this, including the seasonal mod for rockets, which apparently stacks with the regular version. Double rocket armor mods, anyone? Anyway, let's go through some example builds. Well lock, as in be well, have a well, and god damn this lock is boosting up our DPS well. Here we're using the middle tree Dawnblade, so we've got the well going for us, and we can also use a healing rift. We're going to pair this with an auto rifle, so we can use the anti-barrier. We've got a divinity, so we're covered for our overload, which also means we have the arc damage covered, and we've got a void grenade launcher in order to be able to clear through some of those adds. We could equally switch this out for a linear fusion rifle if we want to have that long range to try and take out any snipers or adds at a distance. Now if you don't have a divinity, don't worry, instead we could switch this up for a salvo and have the arc damage, and then use the tractor cannon to be able to have the void damage. For our exotic armor piece, we'll use a Phoenix protocol so that we can try and get our wells back as much as possible in case there's long periods of time that we'll be able to get them back before DPS phase. This pun is a bit of a reach, so we're using Middle Tree Stormcaller to use the Chaos Reach, and we've got an Empowering Rift for further DPS. We're going to use an Izanagi's Burden for damage and to be able to take out some of those longer range targets. We've got a Void hand cannon so we can use the overload rounds, and we've got an arc grenade launcher so that we've got that type of damage covered again, but also we can use it for aggressive ad clear. We can use the Geomag stabilizers as well to be able to help our Chaos Reach. F you and the vault you rode in on. So we're using a middle arc tree striker titan, and we're using the Curus of the Falling Star for extra damage. We've got a shotty for our short range, and we've got a void scout rifle that we can pair up with some anti-barrier rounds in order to be able to push through those champions. We're also going to finish off with a xenophage for boss damage. My bubbles. So now we're using a top tree bubble titan with a sleeper simulant and an Eternal Blazon anti-barrier scout. That way we've got our arc and void damage covered. We're going to pair this with a grenade launcher so we can clear through those adds. Notice that in all these builds we're trying to make sure that we always have the arc and void damage covered. That's a tetherable idea. Okay, so Aikilos SMG for the overload rounds and the arc damage, then we can use a Wither Horde to be able to clear through some adds, and also use it for our damage phases that we'll pair up with some void rockets. We can also use the seasonal mods and the regular mods for the rockets to be able to boost our damage further. We'll pair this with a set of Orpheus rigs so we can get as many tethers back as possible. Stop right there, criminal scum. So we're using a Stasis Hunter so that we can use the Mask of Bacchus to be able to get the boost in arc damage. That way we can pair this up with our Anarchy, so the idea would be dodge and then start using the Anarchy for the boosted amount of damage. Then start dumping extra sniper rounds into the boss for that huge DPS boost. But it also means we can use the super if we want to for its versatility in clearing adds and also shutting down anything that's charging towards us. Now the 180 hand cannon is good for the overload rounds, but also for making a Warmind cells build. If we don't want to use that, we could equally switch back to the Aikilos SMG and pair it with something like a Succession. If you're comfortable running the hand cannon, there's no reason why you couldn't further use the arc damage for a first in last out Vorpal shotgun. Now of course, Celestial Nighthawk Sungun is amazing. Of course, Warlock Stasis Turret is a PvE beast, and Hammer Titan is a thing? Just joking, but you know what your go-to subclass and loadout is, so take these as a good framework from which to get ideas. I haven't mentioned swords here because your whole team has to basically come up with a plan to either use a well or a bubble on top of it. You running a sword yourself and just wandering around isn't going to do much good, so if you want to use swords, do it as a team and it'll be great. Next, consider leveling all 3 classes. Contest mode puts extra strain on teams, and being able to switch a golden gun for another bubble titan can be a big help. Keep in mind that the level cap for day 1 is just 1300, which means any powerful reward on the director will help get you there because it's well under the hard cap limit for this season. For the next few pointers, let's cover some easy to miss prep steps. Prep your resources. Remember to grab rally banners and buy spare upgrade modules for when you're mid-raid, and think, oh, that gun is perfect for this. No one likes that guy that holds up the whole raid because he needs to go to the tower real quick. Don't be that guy, man, just don't be that guy. Okay, real life prep. Organize cock-up comms. Blackouts happen. Disconnects happen. Pterodactyls flying off with your divinity warlock happens. I mean, not often, but I've heard stories, So set up a Discord channel and messenger group so that Dave can confirm he's only resetting his router and that the flappy lizard bastards are going to go hungry for another day. Get your shit together. Get your group together. Use Bungie.net, Xbox LFG, the IO100 app, or whatever to set up a group if you don't have one, or to fill slots if you still need some people. Just advertise what you're going in for. Are you going in casual and seeing what your group can achieve, or if you want to be super sweaty and clear in the opening hours? Maybe most importantly, decide if your group wants to go in blind or if you want to know all the strategies beforehand. Right, let's wrap this up. A few things to consider. Practical basics. Reset your router, hard restart consoles, buy batteries, chug your default, and manscape up. Gamers are a superstitious bunch, so be sure to keep RNGesus and the electronics gods happy. Finally, consider streaming your run. Sites like Twitch allow you to download all the wipes, clutches, and clears of your past streams, even for the low price of a free account. Good luck, gamers. If there are any points I've missed, leave a comment and I'll pin it so everyone can easily find it. I'll leave you with a recap on screen to see us out.